So we're going to look at how we can do energy healing with the clients using the chair. So usually with my sessions, I spend probably the first 10 or 15 minutes listening to the client, trying to understand what the issue is. And then, as you know, if you've been on our workshops, we go through the gap. So we do our grounding, our attunement, our protection, and permission. So we go through all of those things before we actually start. And then I'm going to show you the hand positions where you obviously put your hands whilst we're working with a client. So I'm going to ask Kim if you could just come and join us, if you would.
Hi, everybody.
So just to repeat again, we do, and this really is important, you need to go through the grounding. So you need to stand maybe a couple of feet away from your client. You're outside of their energy field. And the first thing we do is to visualize those golden roots coming down from your feet, first of all, and then also separate roots coming down from your client's feet. So you're both very grounded. That's really important. The second thing we do is to attune. And as you know, this is to make sure that we're not using our own energy and get very depleted and tired. So we just visualize that light coming from the divine, just pouring in through our crown, all the way through our body and out through our feet. So that's our attunement. And then we do our protection. And the easy way to do this is just, first of all, imagine yourself completely enveloped in a bubble of light, golden light or pink light. And then imagine your client in a separate bubble. So they're also very protected. And lastly, excuse me, lastly, we ask permission. Now, this is not asking permission of our client. I'm not asking Kim, because obviously she's given permission by being here, but we're doing it on a higher level. So I'm asking my higher self to connect with Kim's higher self, just to make sure that it's okay to do healing today. And it's very rare that you get a no, but we go through that process. And then to actually start, I always ask my clients if they want to close their eyes and send out an intention. I think it's really important that they have an intention as to what they want to receive from the healing session. So I've asked Kim if she'd like to send out her intention. She doesn't necessarily have to tell me what it is. And then, as I say, I go through my gap process, which probably takes 2 or 3 minutes, not very long. And then to start, we put our hands very gently on top of our client's shoulders. It's very light touch. And I probably spend maybe a couple of minutes just doing that. And this is really to get in tune with your client. And you may find that your breathing starts to synchronize with your breathing with your client. So maybe just, as I say, 2 or 3 minutes, just really attuning. And you can attune again if you want to. Some people, whilst they're doing this with the hands on the shoulders, they visualize again the light coming down from the divine, this time through my crown, through my arms, into Kim's shoulders, all the way through her body and into the ground. So we really get that energy moving. And then we start to balance the chakras. And we start with the crown chakra. And so putting our hands above the head, and you're just allowing that energy to focus into the top of the crown. And bear in mind, the crown is very sensitive, so you want to keep your hands a little bit of a distance away. Don't get too close to the crown. The crown and the third eye are very sensitive. And I probably spend no more than 15, 20 seconds doing that. And then you move around to the side, left or right, whichever feels the most natural. And we balance the third eye. We do that just by bringing our hands and just very gently start to bring them in, keeping your hands very, very gentle. And when you feel the energy field of your client, that's when you know that you're at the edge. And most of your chakras should be in line. You know, we did this in a previous session. So I usually align the rest of the chakras with the one with the third eye. You may find they're pretty much in line anyway. And again, maybe just 10, 15 seconds. It's not a long process. And then we go down to the throat center. Again, just sensing where that field is. And we've got a hand at the back, a hand at the front. And then we move down to the heart center. You can kneel down if you want to, or you can have a chair if you feel happier on that. And again, we just make sure the heart center's in alignment and balance. And then we move down to the solar plexus, just beneath the ribs. And then going down to the sacral, which is just in front of the belly button. And then to balance the base chakra, if you remember, the base chakra goes vertically down into the earth. We keep one hand in front of the tummy and the other hand underneath the chair. And that allows us to get to that base chakra. These chairs are pretty good for doing this, so make sure you use a chair that you can get your hand underneath. So we've now balanced and aligned the chakras, and then we start to what we call scan the body. And we do that, we start off by putting one hand on the bottom of the neck, the nape of the neck, and the other hand at the base of the spine. So you're just allowing that energy to flow up and down your client's spine. And then we move the other hand to the nape of the neck and we go to the shoulder. Now this is very logical. So we go from the nape of the neck to the shoulder, from the shoulder to the elbow. And you'll notice I'm not continually keeping in touch with my client. You don't have to keep your hands on all the time. And then we go from the elbow to the wrist, and from the wrist to the fingertips. And what you're doing as a healer is you're just observing if you get any different sensations, if there's any blockages anywhere in your client's energy field. So that's what we're looking for as we work. And then keeping on the same side, we go from the base of the spine to the hip. And we probably spend, maybe a minute doing each one of these. From the hip to the knee, from the knee to the ankle, and from the ankle to the toes. So we've now scanned both sides, the arm and the leg on this one side. When you move round to the other side, it's very tempting to just grab the chair to pull yourself up. It's probably better not to do that, or if you do hold the chair, make sure you don't move your client around. That disturbs their relaxed state. And then we do effectively the same on the other side. So we go from the nape of the neck to the shoulder, from the shoulder to the elbow to the wrist, and from the wrist to the fingertips. And then again, we go from the bottom of the spine to the hip, base of the spine to the hip to the knee, knee to the ankle, and from the ankle to the toes. When you've done that, to really keep your client grounded, we put one hand on each of the feet. I'm not sure whether you can see this, but I've got one hand on that's okay. One hand on each of the feet, just sort of holding the feet down. So we've now completed scanning the body. And then we go to anywhere that your clients told you there's an issue. So let's say Kim came in and her presenting problem was a pain in the shoulder. So I would then go back and just spend maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Let's say it was the right shoulder, Kim's right shoulder. Spend 2 or 3 minutes there. And I would also, let's say when I was working on Kim, I noticed there was a change of energy, very subtle, but very slight change of energy, maybe with her knee, the right knee. So although she hasn't mentioned that, I would also go back and spend, again, 2 or 3 minutes on the area that I felt there was a possible blockage. So all of this normally takes, maybe 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And then we come back and we put our hands on the side of the head, just very lightly on each side of the head. And this helps to balance keeps the brain in balance, both sides of the brain. I'd probably do this for 2 or 3 minutes. It's quite powerful. And then I put my hands again very lightly on the shoulders. And the first thing I suggest you do is to simply send out a thought of thanks, of appreciation for actually being used as a channel. Because doing this work really is a privilege. So just send out a thought to the universe for gratitude. And then again, we just step a little bit outside of our client's energy field and we ground ourselves again, just visualizing those golden roots. I imagine roots coming down from my client's feet. And then protect myself again in that bubble of light. I visualize Kim in a separate bubble of light. And then I just give her a very gentle squeeze on the shoulders. Just let them know that you finished. I usually say, bless you, or I finished. And then, which is important, come down to the same height as your client. You don't want to be towering above them when they open their eyes. So just come down to the same level and then just share with them, just ask them how they're feeling and just leave it up to them to ask any questions or whatever.
Fantastic.
Yay! Will it be credit card?
No, my husband will pay.